on rain-slicked cobblestones beneath flickering gaslights, curiosity claws deeper than the chill of London fog. Some wishes demand a terrifying price. October's damp breath pressed heavy against Montgomery's antiques, where the night's chill seeped through cracked panes and thickened the air with the scent of smoke and decay. The shop, a cramped cavern stuffed with relics and whispered histories, huddled among shuttered neighbors like a forgotten relic itself, its windows fobbed and streaked with raindrops that tapped a restless rhythm. Soft, insistent, mournful. Inside, dust hung in lazy spirals caught in the meager firelight, its acrid smoke tethering the senses to a past layered in forgotten stories and unlived moments. Tarnished silver plates gleamed dully beneath the gloom. Yellowed pages of brittle books rustled faintly in creaking shelves like brittle wings, and the bitter musk of damp wood warped the air into a suffocating shroud. Harold Renshaw's pale, worn face was a map of penitent defeat, lines etching years of exhaustion and relentless fight against the city's cold indifference. His fingers trembled ever so slightly, tracing the clutter with disbelief stretched tight across a soul starved for chance. And then, amid that chaos of relics and shadow, the paw emerged. A grotesque, ebony-black curse crouched on a faded cushion, its shriveled fingers curled in an unnatural beckon, as if the shadows themselves could relent no longer, lending it a sinister pulse beneath the flickering lamplight. The shopkeeper's voice rasped like dead leaves scraping on cold stone. "This here's no ordinary trinket, 3 wishes. But the price? Oh, it's no coin you'll pay. It's blood, bone, sanity, all more than you reckon." Harold's laugh was brittle, a cracked veneer over a spine threading cold fear. "Stories for children," he spat, yet beneath the bravado, a shiver slid down his spine like silk-covered knives. He slipped the claw into his coat pocket, its cold weight clinging to his skin like latent ice, and ventured back into the night where the rain swallowed the fog whole, and the street lamps flickered and died like the last dying stars in a forgotten constellation. At home, the kitchen was a frail island of dim light, pastel and wan against the encroaching blackness that pressed like a living thing on the window panes. The rhythm of rain drummed a lonely liturgy, each drop a mournful pulse echoing in the cramped space. Harold unfolded the paw with tentative fingers. Its clammy, leathery surface whispered against his skin like insect legs, ghostly and invasive. An invisible breath brushed along the stubble of his neck, delicate as spider silk and chill as a graveyard wind. "What harm could it do?" he murmured, voice barely a thread. And with that imploding hope, his first wish slipped out, soft, desperate, for money, for reprieve from debts that gnawed like rats in his chest. Dawn broke, grey and unwelcoming, spilling through the window like spilled ash. An envelope, a heavy, unfamiliar weight, rested on the mat. The letter inside spoke of a distant kin, a forgotten tether pulling him from oblivion with an inheritance exactly matching his whispered plea. Fate, it seemed, had answered, yet cold dread wove beneath the surface, a creeping shadow crawling with whispered warnings. At the bank, a stranger's gaze sliced him, a contemptuous blade of ice, burning yet numb, a memory of malice sharpened with intent. Harold swallowed the discomfort, but the seed of unease nestled deep, clawing at his ribs like a living thing. That night, his flat breathed uneasily. The floorboards groaned a plaintive warning, a soft tapping beat like knuckles on fragile bone at the window. A sudden jolt tossed Harold upright. His voice cracked, a fragile thread stretched too thin. "Who's there?" Only the sigh of wind answered, accompanied by the stuttering rattle of rain on glass, an unwelcome hymn to waking nightmares. Days bled slowly, paranoia tightening its icy claws as the monkey's paw seemed to shift and twitch in the corner, its fingers curling with a slow, unnatural life when unobserved, unyielding as a curse made flesh. Avoiding the shopkeeper became a fragile shield for his sanity, but the claw's whisper grew louder. Against every warning, desperate and unmoored, his lips parted for a second wish, clarity, answers to quell the gnawing dread strangling his mind. The phone's shrill scream shattered the silence. A voice, sharp and brittle as winter frost, spoke warnings carved in ice, "Cease your tampering with the dark forces that claw beyond human reach." The speaker was chillingly near, the stranger from the bank, whose eyes had pierced through him like frozen needles. Panic erupted, a wildfire consuming reason. Books shattered from shelves, shadows swelled and lengthened, encasing the room in dreadful weight, a living shroud of torment and menace. One violent crescendo of thunder splintered the sky. Rain slashed the windowpane with icy claws. Hands trembling, slick with clammy sweat, Harold gripped the paw tight. "One last wish," he whispered, voice trembling. "I want peace." The words vanished into the cold air, swallowed by savage silence. Morning bled in pale, empty light. The flat was deserted. Only the monkey's paw lay twisted on the floor, its fingers fixed in a rictus of finality. Harold, erased from the world, vanished into the murk as completely as the fog swallowing London's rain-drenched streets. Montgomery's antiques shuttered without warning. Whispered legends among the few walkers spoke of curses older than conscience, souls condemned to wander twisted paths beyond redemption. Outside, the fog writhed like a restless beast, draping the city in a bone-white shroud that swallowed secrets whole. Just beyond sight, the monkey's paw waited, patient and merciless, its gnarled fingers poised to clutch the next desperate wish, the next soul pulled into its silent web of ruin. If you found the monkey's paw, what would you wish for? Share your darkest desires in the shadows below, but beware what you summon.